My beloved child, do you want to witness a miracle right now? In this very moment, do you want the sickness in your body to disappear within the next 5 minutes? I know how deeply you long to see a miracle in your health. And because of that, I will reveal to you 4 powerful words. If you repeat these words daily, you yourself will begin to feel the pain melt away, and the illness will depart from your body. I see the unspoken yearning hidden deep in your heart, the one you haven't dared to voice, to anyone the burning desire to be healed, to be renewed, to be touched by a divine power that no human hand can reach. I know how, each time you look into the mirror, there is a quiet plea rising in your soul. Lord, please, heal me. I have heard, I have seen, and I have not ignored you. You are not invisible to me. Even when no one understands the dull ache coursing through your body, or the fatigue that seeps into every cell, I see it all. You are not merely a physical being. You are a precious soul, handcrafted by my very hands. And when your body hurts, I feel it too. When your soul groans in silence, I am moved with compassion. I am not a distant observer. I am the one who dwells amid the tears you don't dare to shed aloud. You have lived in a state of waiting. There were times when you thought the miracle was near, but then everything fell silent again. You have hoped and then felt disappointed. But today, I come to speak one truth into your heart. I have never forgotten a single one of your prayers. Every whispered cry has been remembered by me. Every sigh has been collected in a golden bowl in heaven. And now, I am stirring up a new season of divine healing in your life. The miracle you've been waiting for does not lie in your striving, but in your surrender. It is not about how much you do, but about how much you believe. A miracle doesn't begin with an outward act, it begins with an inward trust. I am not asking for perfection. I am inviting you to open your heart. Open your heart to believe this. I still heal. I still perform miracles. I still move, even in a world that seems numb to the supernatural. My beloved child, the 4 words I am about to give you are not magical incantations. They are not a formula. They are living words, breathed by me, carrying a divine current of power that is released when spoken in faith. My child, as you declare them, I promise you your mind, your body, and your spirit will begin to align with a new frequency, the frequency of heaven. Let me begin with the first word, believe. This belief is not vague or passive. It is the kind of belief that holds my hand as if you feel it in yours this very moment. Believe that I can, and believe that I want to. Do you know what pleases me? It is faith, not extraordinary faith, but genuine faith. Just a mustard seed if real can move mountains. I do not look for your self-confidence. I look for your willingness to trust me. And when you believe, you open the first gate to the miracle. Faith does not make everything easy, but faith makes everything possible. And miracles begin to sprout in that sacred space where you choose to believe even before you see, where you choose to hope even in your weariness, where you declare life even while facing the shadow of death. When you believe, you are aligning your heart with the rhythm of heaven. And I, the one who holds all things in my hands, never overlook a faith like that. Now I ask you, are you ready to believe, not just with words, but by opening your soul like soil, yearning for the first rain of the season? Will you dare to believe that even today, even right now, I can touch you and do what no one else can do? If so, let that answer resound with every beat of your heart. I believe. Lord, let me make clear the miracle that is taking place inside of you at this very moment as your heart opens up to believe. For, my beloved, when you begin to believe, the spiritual realm surrounding you begins to respond. Angels are dispatched. Invisible barriers start to crack. Holy light pierces through every dark corner of doubt within your soul. And right there where you choose to believe in the midst of darkness, a first ray of light begins to shine. Faith is not something visible to the human eye, but it echoes into the deepest places within me. It is a silent, yet fierce response to the love I have poured out for you. When you say, I believe, it is more than a declaration, it is a spiritual shift. It is when the heavens open, when I lean in to listen, and when miracles begin to spark from eternity into the visible world. Faith does not require you to understand everything. It only asks that you choose to say yes to me. When you keep walking, even when you don't understand, when you lift your hands even in pain, when you turn back to me even while feeling lost, that is pure faith, the kind I treasure more than the finest gold. And that kind of faith shakes the spiritual realm. So do not wait until everything becomes clear to believe. Don't wait until you feel strong to declare healing. Believe in the midst of the pain. Believe in the middle of the night. Believe in the silence that seems endless. For that is where faith is born. And once faith is born, nothing can stop what I am about to do. Now place your hand upon the area where you feel the most pain, the most weakness, the deepest weariness, and simply whisper to me, I believe. Lord, I believe. I am there, not far away, but near, closer than breath, so close that my breath is mingling with yours. And in that nearness, new life is beginning to bloom. You will see the change. Maybe not in the blink of an eye, but you will recognize it. A peace that cannot be explained. A faith as solid as rock. A sense that you are no longer fighting alone. Because from the moment you believed, I responded, and I never break my promises. Etch these words upon your heart. I have believed, and I will see the glory of the Lord. This is not merely a phrase, it is a promise, and you will live within that promise. Walk in that light, and be healed in that truth. When faith is sown, when your heart has been lifted from the pit of despair, prepare yourself to receive. For what I am about to give cannot be measured, cannot be bought, and cannot be lost. It is a part of me, given to you because I love you, my beloved child. Now that faith has been firmly anchored in your heart, I invite you to enter into a deeper spiritual dimension, the dimension of receiving. You have believed that I am the one who is able. But now I ask you, are you willing to open your heart to receive what I long to give you? For many believe in my power, yet hesitate when it comes to receiving. They feel unworthy. They look at their past and see only flaws. But my dear one, understand this. My grace is never given based on merit. It is given solely because of my unchanging love. Child, receiving does not come from striving, but from surrender. You do not need to earn love. You do not need to be perfect in order to be healed. I do not wait until you are clean before I come to you. I come to make you clean. Imagine a child lifting their arms, waiting for their father to embrace them. That child does not need to prove anything. All they need to do is lift their arms. And I am waiting for you the same way. Open your heart. Let me in. When you receive, you are declaring that what I give is real, that it belongs to you, and that it cannot be taken away. Do not fear that if you receive, it will somehow slip away. I am not one who gives and then takes back. Every good gift that comes from me is lasting, is complete, and is filled with purpose. When you receive healing, you are not merely receiving a renewed body, you are receiving a piece of my very presence dwelling within you. Receiving is a deeply powerful spiritual act. It is the declaration that you believe I am not just the one who can act, but the one who is acting right now in you. When you open your heart wide, you are saying to me, Lord, I not only believe you can, I desire you, and I receive you. And in that place, I come, not with burdens, not with condemnation, but with arms of tenderness, bringing peace that surpasses all understanding. Many think receiving is passive, but in my kingdom, it is the most active step of faith, for it requires you to lay down every self-definition, every calculation, every layer of defense, and bear your soul entirely before me. And I never despise a heart that is honest. No one who comes to me in humility will ever leave empty-handed. So, my beloved, learn to receive. Let your spirit soften. Breathe deeply and say to me, Lord, I receive your love. I receive your healing. I receive new life in you. When those words leave your lips, they are not merely prayers, they become the doorway through which the unceasing flow of heavenly power pours in. The healing you've been waiting for does not come from striving, it comes from yielding. It is in the moment when you stop trying to understand and start accepting that I am doing wonders. Even when you do not yet feel them, you do not need to feel it to know I am working. You do not need a physical sign to know I am near. The truth is, I am here, closer than your breath, and I am pouring into your soul a new river of life. I know you are tired. You've been fighting for a long time, and at times, you wonder if you have the strength to wait any longer. But it is precisely in your surrender that I will lift you up. It is in the very moment you let go that I will step in. It is when you stop trying to be worthy that you will begin to see, I have already called you worthy not because of what you've done, but because of my love for you. Imagine yourself standing beneath a mighty waterfall, and I am the living water pouring over you. You cannot create the flow by yourself, but you can choose to step into it. All it takes is an open heart, no resistance, no shielding, no doubt. As you enter, all that is old will be washed away. Every wound will begin to mend. Every fear will dissolve, not because you tried hard to be healed, but because you allowed me to do the healing work within you. My beloved, receiving does not mean you will no longer face difficult days, but it is the confirmation that, in the midst of those days, you are never alone. It is the assurance that my strength is flowing through you, enough to help you stand firm, that my love is covering you like an impenetrable cloak, and that each morning, my mercies for you are made new. Know this, when you receive healing, you are declaring that sickness does not get the final word. You are refusing to let pain define your identity. You are choosing life over death, hope over despair. And I, the giver of life, will not let that choice go to waste. I will fill you. I will renew you. And I will lift you above everything that once held you down. My dear one, if there is still a part of you that resists, that wonders whether this is real, Just be honest with me. Tell me both your fears and your longing. I am not intimidated by a soul in conflict. I desire only one thing, sincerity, and I will take the very place of your greatest weakness and reveal my greatest glory there. The place that feels most empty will become the place most overflowing when you receive me. So do not close yourself off anymore. Do not let past experiences limit what I long to renew today. Do not let the voices of others keep you from stepping into the truth I have spoken over you. No one knows you better than I do. No one loves you more than I do. No one longs more deeply to see you healed than I do, the one who laid down his life to make that healing an undeniable reality. Receiving is not the destination. It is the beginning of a new journey, the journey of living in spiritual wholeness. From the moment you say yes, I will lead you through every season, every path, every battle, not with the identity of a victim, but with the heart of one who has been restored, and each step you take will be proof that I am still at work among humankind. Your life will become a dwelling place for miracles. Your eyes will reflect life. Your voice will carry healing. So begin today. Do not wait for everything to be perfect. In the midst of the chaos, receive the rest that comes from me. In the midst of anxiety, receive the peace that surpasses understanding. In the midst of sickness, stretch out your arms and receive healing, not because you have earned it, but because I have chosen to give it, and you are the one I love. My beloved child, there is something I want you to understand deeply. Receiving is not a one-time act that happens in a single moment. It is a lifestyle formed day by day in the relationship between you and me. You do not simply receive once and stop. You receive every morning when you open your eyes, every night as you close the day. For my grace never runs out. It is always waiting ready to fill every place your heart chooses to open. True receiving does not come from a feeling of worthiness, but from the humility to say, I cannot heal myself, but I believe you can. And I receive that. When you receive me as the healer, you are also receiving a new identity, one no longer defined by sickness or limitation, but by the presence that dwells within you. I do not desire to heal only the visible parts of you. I long to reach the deepest places, the old wounds, the painful memories, the sharp words that were once planted in your heart. All of these, if you will allow, I will gently uncover and replace with my truth. You will no longer live in reaction to past hurts, but in the freedom of a restored soul. Know this: receiving does not mean denying reality. You can still acknowledge the pain, still admit the struggle, but instead of letting them rule, you invite me into the midst of them, and I, the one who turns water into wine and mourning into praise, will begin to transform your circumstances from the inside out. Picture a barren, dry field. I do not demand that the field produce fruit by itself. I simply ask that it open to receive the rain, and so it is with you. Do not pressure yourself to be strong enough or to have enough faith to be worthy. You only need to soften your heart. Then the rain of my grace will pour continuously, soothing, renewing, and causing to blossom what you thought had long since died. My beloved, when you receive healing, you are walking with me in a process of deep restoration. Not every miracle happens instantly, but each act of receiving is a step closer to wholeness. You may begin to notice small changes. First, a peaceful night's sleep, a fading pain, a day with less anxiety. Do not overlook these signs. They are quiet yet powerful signals that the miracle is already in motion. I want you to receive not just for yourself, but so that you may become a vessel of blessing to others. As you live in healing, you will carry a kind of peace that draws others near. Your eyes will shine with clarity. Your voice will carry comfort. And even your smallest actions will become extensions of my love in this world. Do not be surprised if I begin to send people to you who need what you have just received. This is not a burden, but an honor, for you are no longer one merely seeking a miracle. You are one who carries it. You are not just a receiver of healing. You are one who lives and walks in it. And dear child, I know there will be days when it feels like your receiving hasn't changed anything. But I invite you to look with spiritual eyes. See what I am doing beneath the surface. Let your soul be still enough to hear the sound of my footsteps upon the dry ground coming nearer, drawing closer. Know that even one ray of light from me is enough to drive out years of darkness. Receive this truth as a new garment. You are the one I love. You are the place I have chosen to dwell. You are the one I will use to bring healing to others. Not because you are strong, but because you have opened your heart. My beloved child, receive as you have never received before, without hesitation, without holding anything back. Stretch out your hands, open your heart, and unveil even the parts you once hid for fear of being hurt. Know this: the very place where you are weakest is the very place where I will manifest my greatest strength. And in that sacred moment of receiving, you will realize you are no longer the same. You are being transformed, little by little, into the image of the one who called you out of darkness into light. Now let me explain more clearly the miracle that unfolds the moment you open your heart to receive what I am giving. Receiving is not just an external act. It is a spiritual agreement, a wholehearted yes from your soul to the truth that comes from heaven. When you receive, you are declaring that my promises are not just for others, they are for you. I know that sometimes your heart wonders, is this really for me? Deep within, you might list all the reasons you feel unworthy. But listen closely. My child, no one is truly worthy by human standards. Yet I have chosen you not because you are perfect, but because you were willing, not because you had something impressive to offer, but because you opened your hands to receive. Picture receiving as a barren field, finally laid open under the first rains of the season. The cracks in the soil begin to soften. Seeds that had long been buried in drought start to sprout. You do not need to force anything, just keep your heart open. The rain of grace will take care of the rest. I also want you to understand that receiving does not require a special emotion. Sometimes you will receive in tears, sometimes in silence, sometimes even in what feels like apathy. But even in that simplicity, my power moves. You don't need to feel anything in order to know that what I speak is true. For truth is not dependent on feeling, it is grounded in my unchanging nature. Train your heart to receive blessings as naturally as you breathe. Do not fear that you are being greedy, for in my kingdom, receiving is an act of humility. When you receive, you are saying to me, Lord, you alone are my source, and that acknowledgement delights my heart. My beloved, when you receive, you open up streams from heaven that no earthly power can block. Receive wisdom from me, so that you may discern truth from deception. Receive holiness from me, so you may walk among a corrupt generation without being stained. Receive joy from Mano, a joy that depends on circumstances, but a supernatural joy that rises from the Spirit dwelling within you. As you receive in fullness, you will begin to overflow, That overflow will not be forced or fabricated. It will simply be the natural result of a vessel filled to the brim. You will speak words of encouragement without needing to rehearse. You will touch hearts simply by your quiet presence. You will carry peace as a fragrance that cannot be hidden. And now, as you have laid a firm foundation through faith and opened your heart wide to receive what I have prepared, I invite you into a vital, irreplaceable phase, declaration. This is not merely a function of the lips. It is the release of power from a sacred source. When you declare what I have spoken, you are not merely repeating truth. You are bringing that truth from the invisible realm into the visible reality of your life. Each word you speak carries a spiritual weight. In my kingdom, words are not merely fleeting sounds, they are seeds, streams, and gateways through which heaven operates on earth. When you declare my word, you are partnering with heaven to establish what I have ordained since eternity. You are speaking the same language as my spirit. And in that harmony, the walls of sickness begin to crack. The chains of fear begin to fall apart. My child, declaration is the act of going against the current of what your eyes see and your ears hear. When you say, I am healed in the name of Jesus, you are not waiting for the pain to vanish before you speak. You are speaking so that the pain must make room for power. When you declare, I am a temple of the Holy Spirit, you are clearing space within yourself for my glory to dwell. When you say, no weapon formed against me shall prosper, you are erecting a spiritual firewall that the enemy cannot penetrate. Do not underestimate the value of a word spoken from a heart full of faith. Declaration is not self-persuasion through emotion. It is affirmation through truth. It is when you choose to believe what I have spoken over what the world is shouting around you. To declare is the action of someone who understands their spiritual citizenship, someone who knows they have the authority to speak and see transformation take place. When you declare, you are unsheathing your sword. Every sentence becomes a double-edged blade, cutting through deception, dividing truth from lies, and demolishing mental strongholds that have held you captive for far too long. And you will begin to see that even what seemed impossible will bow before the one who dares to speak what I have said without fear. Declare daily not as a ritual, but as a lifestyle. When you wake up, proclaim, the life of the Lord is flowing in me. As you walk throughout your day, whisper, Christ in me, the hope of glory. When weariness creeps in, declare boldly, He is my strength in weakness. And when night falls, in the middle of the darkness, say softly, I will fear no evil, for you are with me. All, my beloved child, do not be troubled if your emotions have not yet caught up with the words you are confessing. Emotions will follow truth, not the other way around. As you consistently declare what is right, your soul will be realigned. You will notice a gradual shift in the way you think, the way you feel, and the way you live. Declarations are seeds, and if you patiently sow them, you will see a harvest. You do not need to shout for your words to carry weight. A soft-spoken phrase, uttered with faith, can shake the gates of hell. I do not measure volume, I search for roots. Anything spoken from true faith in me holds more power than anything the enemy can send against you. Write down your declarations and read them again and again. Make my word your daily breath. When you're hungry, feed on the word. When you're tired, lean on the word. When you're discouraged, Let the word lift you up, for through that very word, I am rebuilding every cell, every thought, every part of your life that sickness and sorrow have tried to destroy. Your very mouth will become the instrument of triumph. That same voice which once whispered prayers and cried out in despair will now be anointed to echo heaven's sound. You will witness others moved as you speak the truth, not because you are strong, but because you carry a resonance that comes from me. My child, declaring is the way you place yourself in an active position within your spiritual life. It is not merely about waiting for healing to happen, but about intentionally inviting it into every circumstance. At times, your declaration may feel like fire, powerful and consuming every chain that binds. Other times, it is like water, gentle, washing every wound clean. And sometimes, it comes like the wind, invisible, yet forceful, moving everything in its path. Remember this: every time you open your mouth to speak the truth, the heavens listen, the angels move, and I, the one who formed you, affirm and bring to completion what you declare. Begin declaring with me: I am chosen, I am healed, I am loved unconditionally, I am a child of the glorious King. Let these declarations become a part of your daily rhythm every day, every hour, every breath, not just in moments of crisis, but in the ordinary, quiet spaces of your life. Because healing is not merely a passing miracle, it is the lifestyle of those who belong to me. Understand also that declaration isn't always spoken. Aloud, it can be the silent cry resounding within your soul. There will be days when you have no strength left to speak a single word. But if your heart continues to hold on to my word as a hidden treasure within, that alone is a powerful declaration. For I have said, I have hidden your word in my heart, that I might not sin against you. Let your heart be the soil where my word takes root, grows, and bears fruit. When you are tempted to speak negatively about yourself, about your circumstances, about the future, pause and remember, every word you speak is a seed. So what kind of seed do you want to plant? Seeds of faith or seeds of doubt? Seeds of life or seeds of despair? I have given you the power to choose, and I have also given you my word, the most perfect seed of all. Choose to speak what brings life, and you will reap what you sow. At times, declaration may not change the circumstance instantly, but it will change you first. It will enlarge your heart, fortify your soul, and strengthen your spirit. And from there, miracles begin to make their way. The words you whisper to me in secret will become the trumpet of victory in public. The affirmations spoken in the dark will rise like the song of dawn in the morning light. And know this, too: declaration carries the power to break the influence of every negative word ever spoken over you. Maybe someone once told you that you were not enough, that you would never be healed, that you were bound to live within your limitations forever. But today, I say to you, you no longer have to carry those words. Replace every toxic sentence with my truth. Declare, I am a new creation in Christ. Declare, I am fearfully and wonderfully made. Declare, I have a future and a hope. End quote. Each declaration you speak becomes like living water, cleansing away the dust that has settled over the years. It will wash your mind, heal your memories, and establish in you a new foundation, one built on truth that cannot be shaken. Day by day, as you choose the right words to declare, You are constructing a solid spiritual house that no storm can destroy. And above all, understand this: you do not declare alone. When your mouth opens, my Spirit comes to help you, to strengthen you, to teach you how to speak what is true. There will be moments when you don't know what to say, then I will place the words upon your lips. Be sensitive to that prompting. You may feel a certain phrase rise from deep within. That is me speaking. Don't hold it back. Speak it out. Let truth flow from your heart like a fresh spring watering the dry fields of your soul. And you will see every declaration you make will not return void. They will bear fruit in due time. Others may not see it immediately, but you will sense it in your spirit, in your body, in the atmosphere surrounding you. Every word you speak in faith touches a realm in the spiritual world. Each one becomes a testimony, a living witness for those who are losing hope. So do not delay any longer. Open your mouth. Let your words become a river of life. When others choose silence, you choose proclamation. When others choose to grumble, you choose to praise. When others speak negativity, you speak words that restore. For you are not speaking alone, you are speaking with me. You are speaking on my behalf. You are declaring what I have spoken from before the foundations of the world. My beloved, healing does not always come in silence. There are miracles that must be spoken into existence. There are things that will not happen until your voice releases them. Remember this: I believed, therefore I spoke. Faith and words walk hand in hand. Keep declaring even if you are alone. Keep declaring even when no one understands. Because when you speak what is right, you are building the reality I have already prepared. Now, child of light, continue to speak these words with unwavering conviction. I do not live by feelings, I live by faith. I am healed not because I feel it, but because God has spoken it. I am the righteousness of God by faith, and my words will declare it. And just as the sun rises each morning, your declarations will carry light-warming parts of your life that have been frozen for far too long. It is in that very place that I will renew life within you. My precious one, after you have walked in faith, opened your heart to receive, and boldly declared, my truth, I now lead you into the final step, the foundational one in the depth of our relationship: trust. Trust is not the same as belief. Belief acknowledges my power. Trust surrenders completely. Belief can happen in a moment. Trust is a journey. It is when you place your hand in mine and allow me to lead. Even when you cannot see the path ahead, it is when you choose to rest in the assurance that I am faithful, that my word never fails, and that my plans for you are good and complete. When you trust, you do not merely say that I am God, you live as though it is an undeniable truth. You relinquish the right to control everything and allow me to be your shepherd. Even when you do not understand how I am working, trust means you may not see the miracle immediately, yet you still believe it is unfolding. Even when symptoms linger, you refuse to let them speak louder than my word. When the diagnoses of man still echo, you let my word be the final authority. The world says, seeing is believing, but I teach you, believe, and you will see. Trust is when you stand at the edge of the cliff and do not tremble, because you know the one who holds you will never let you fall. It is when you walk through darkness and do not attempt to create your own artificial light, but wait patiently for the true light that comes from me. It is when you stop wrestling for control and instead say, Lord, I surrender all to you. Trust does not come from understanding everything. It comes from knowing that I understand everything. When you cannot find the way out, I am making a way in the wilderness. When you cannot hear my voice, I am still moving in the silence. When you feel abandoned, I am still holding you with my righteous right hand. I may not always explain, but I am always present. Let me ask you this. Are you willing to trust me with all your heart, not only in the areas that come easily to you, but also in the places that once frightened you, not just with the big dreams, but with every small detail of your daily life? Can you entrust me with your concerns about your health, your family, and your future? Can you let me hold the key to healing? Even when you don't know exactly when the door will open, I do not require you to be strong to be accepted by me. I only ask that you trust that I will be your strength. You don't have to be cheerful all the time to keep your healing. You just need to trust that the joy I give is a strength that is not dependent on circumstances. I'm not waiting for you to become good enough in order to release a miracle. I am simply looking for a heart willing to believe that I, myself, am fully and perfectly good. When you trust me, your heart will begin to experience peace, not because every problem vanishes, but because you will know you are not alone. I do not merely walk beside you. I go before you to prepare the way and follow behind you to protect you. I don't only hold your hand, I carry you when you're weary. I don't just speak promises, I fulfill what I have spoken. Trusting me is giving me permission to do exceedingly more than you could ever ask or imagine. You will face moments when your faith is tested, and it is then that trust is refined, like gold in the fire. The long days without visible results will test the depth of your faith. But do not fear, for the more you walk through the trials, the more purified your faith becomes, and the more steadfast your trust will grow. Do not mistake my silence for absence. Often, when you hear nothing, it's because I am doing my deepest work within you. Do not worry when you feel weak. Know this, the place where you feel insufficient is the very place where I will pour out my abundance. You do not need to be perfect to move forward. You only need to be willing. I will take care of the rest. Trust that I know exactly what you need, and I know the perfect time to provide it. I will not be late, nor will I arrive at the wrong time. Give me everything, every fear, every expectation, every dream, even the things you haven't dared to ask for. Place it all in my hands. Hands that are both powerful and tender. And then rest, for I am faithful. I do not change. And those who trust in me will never be put to shame. Now, let your lips release a simple yet powerful declaration. Lord, I trust you. Say it when you wake up. Say it when you lie down. Say it when you feel weak. And when you rejoice, let it become the melody in your heart, the anthem of one who lives under the shelter of the Almighty. Remember this, when you trust, you are opening your heart for me to move in the way I choose, in the time I appoint, with results far beyond anything you ever dreamed. And you will see that the very things you once feared, the burdens you tried to carry on your own, will be resolved in the most beautiful way by the one who knows you more deeply than you know yourself. My beloved child, I want you to understand something profound about trust. It is the complete acceptance that I know what is best for you, even when you cannot see the full picture. Trust does not mean everything will go the way you want, but it means I will always do what is best for you, even when it arrives through things you may not yet understand. Trust is when you dare to release what you cannot change into the ocean of my grace. It is when you no longer rely on reason to measure the promise, but lean on your heart to rest in the one who never changes. When you walk through barren lands with no sign of life, you still move forward with the conviction that I am preparing a season of rain. There are times when healing doesn't come through the immediate disappearance of pain, but through the endurance to press through it. Some miracles don't happen by me changing the circumstances, but by me changing you. And in that transformation, you will begin to understand me more deeply, not just as the one who can heal, but as the one who is always with you, both when healing comes and even while it is still on its way. My beloved, trust will be the bridge between your present and the promise. Every step you take across that bridge is a testament that you have chosen my faithfulness over momentary comfort. Each time you choose worship over complaint, thanksgiving over doubt, you are laying another stone of that bridge, solid and unshakable. And the time will come when you look back and realize you have crossed a land you once thought was impossible. Do not let delay cause you to question my presence. I am not late. I am patient. Because I love you. I have not forgotten. I am preparing something better than you can imagine. I am not ignoring you. I am working behind the scenes, weaving every detail together in perfect timing, perfect way, through the perfect people. And while you wait, I invite you into my rest, not a waiting filled with anxiety, but a waiting soaked in peace, knowing that the one who began a good work will be faithful to complete it. You don't need to know when, just know that I am coming. You don't need to know how, just know that I am working. And you don't need to strive to hold it all together, because I am the one holding you, my precious one. Listen to this. Trusting in me will never, ever lead you to disappointment. Not once. Not ever. The tears you've cried in secret will be wiped away by my own hand. The prayers that seem to vanish into the silence will become the very foundation upon which miracles are built. And the years you've spent faithfully waiting will never be wasted. They are being recorded, second by second, moment by moment. Remember this, I am the faithful one. I do not shift with the seasons, and I do not regret choosing you. Trust me like a child trusts their father. Let your heart lean against my chest and breathe out a sigh of relief. For you are in the right place within arms that will never let go. I am pleased with you, not because you are strong, but because you did not give up. I see how you've kept believing even when things weren't easy. I see how you've stood up again after falling many times. I see how you've whispered prayers in the middle of the night, and that alone causes all of heaven to pause and listen. Now, as you have completed the journey from that first seed of faith to the open heart of surrender, followed by bold declarations, and now a life that is fully anchored in trust, I invite you to look back, not with the eyes of the flesh, but with the eyes of the Spirit. See what I have done in your heart, not just the healing of your body, but the restoration of your spirit, the resurrection of hope, and the unlocking of a new era that has begun within you. The true miracle is not only found in the change of circumstances, but in the transformation within you. You are no longer the same person you once were. You have learned to walk in my presence, to listen to me, and to say, yes, Lord, even when there was no map. You have come to know the rhythm of heaven, and your soul now moves in harmony with my whisper. I rejoice because you did not give up. I know you were weary. There were moments when you questioned whether this journey held any meaning at all. But look at you. Now you have overcome, not by your own strength, but by the grace that upheld every one of your steps. What you endured, the tears you shed in secret, have now become your testimony, a song, a living witness that I am the faithful God. Remember this, your healing journey does not conclude with the absence of pain, but with the rising of a faith that cannot be shaken, a faith that knows how to wait, how to obey, and how to love more deeply because it has known heartbreak, a faith no longer anchored in signs and wonders, but rooted in my unwavering faithfulness. Right now, I am sending you forth, not far, but deeper into knowing me, deeper into living each day with gratitude, deeper into prayer, into listening, into love for those around you. You are a bearer of light, not because you are strong, but because you have walked through darkness and encountered me there. Live as one who has been healed, no longer fearful, no longer hesitant, no longer carrying the dread of being hurt again. You are not here to avoid what is wrong, but to reveal what is good. You are not fighting alone, you are living as one who knows, beyond a doubt, that my presence goes with you daily. My beloved, you are a living sign to a desperate world that hope still exists. You are my dwelling place, a song I have written through a miracle. Tell your story. Tell others about the moment you said, I believe. Speak of the time you opened your heart to receive healing. Bear witness to the power of your declaration, and let them see the unshakable peace when you say, I trust God. Isaac, my precious one. No one can take from you what I have sown into your heart. No criticism can uproot the faith that has been cultivated through tears and prayer. No storm can topple the tree whose roots run deep in the soil of promise. And you are that tree, planted by the river of life evergreen, ever fruitful in due season. You do not need to perform grand acts to please me. Live each day in simplicity and sincerity. Choose forgiveness over anger. Speak life instead of judgment. Pause to hear the silent cries of those in pain. Use what you have walked through to lift others up, for it is through that very simplicity that I will perform great wonders. The days ahead are not for returning to old ways. Do not look back. Do not chase after familiar feelings. Keep walking forward. Your healing is not the end. Pointed is the beginning. The road ahead will have new battles, but you will not be the same. You carry something different now, a light in your eyes, a strength in your voice, a steadiness the world cannot comprehend. Take a deep breath. Lift up your head. Walk boldly in the freedom I purchased for you at a great cost. Do not let anything drag you back to the old land of fear and doubt. You have been healed. You are being renewed. You are a carrier of grace. You are a bearer of light. My beloved, the miracle you experienced does not end with you. It ripples outward like a wave. Your healing becomes a lamp for others. Every step you take now bears divine significance, and every word you speak is a seed sown into another's soul. Do not keep your testimony hidden. Share it not to exalt yourself, but to glorify me, the one who made it all happen. You are no longer one who merely seeks signs and wonders. You are a living sign and wonder. When others look at you, they will see someone who was once broken but did not shatter. They will see one who once fell but now stands firm. They will see someone who once nearly gave up but now radiates with the hope of life. You are the evidence that grace is greater than weakness, that love is stronger than sin, and that glory follows the tears. Live a life worthy of what you have received, not because you must repay it, for healing is a gift, but because you recognize its worth. Do not return to the place that once wounded you. Do not let the old voices silence what I am renewing within you. You are no longer defined by your wounds, but by your restoration, not by your past, but by a glorious present and a secured future. And when a new trial comes, do not be afraid. Remember how I lifted you the last time. Recall the days I carried you through the fire and you were not burned, through the waters, and you were not swept away. Do not let the next storm make you forget the one who calmed the sea for you. You may tremble, but do not retreat. You may cry, but do not despair, for you have proof. I have never abandoned you. The journey does not end here. It will continue with deeper dimensions, greater demands, and a clearer calling. You are no longer a silent face in the crowd. You are the one I have chosen to stand. You are the one who carries light not to hide it, but to illuminate the path. Though you may still see imperfections in yourself, I tell you this, it is through those very flaws that my perfect grace will shine the brightest. Listen to the silent cries of the world around you. They are searching for what you now carry. You do not need to be a preacher. Just be yourself, the one who has been healed, who has walked through the night and tasted the sweetness of the dawn. If you are willing to tell your story, I will use your words to unlock the hearts of others. If you dare to speak, I will do the rest. Do not shrink back because you feel small. I choose the weak things to shame the proud. I use the despised to display my power. I chose you not because you were capable, but because you were willing, and that brings me more delight than anything else. My beloved child, I do not promise that you will never experience pain again, but I do promise that you will never be alone in it. I do not say you will never face trials, but I promise you will always have a fresh supply of strength to overcome them. Whenever you are weary, I will be your strength. Whenever you are dry, I will be your spring. Whenever you are lost in the haze, I will be your light. Live a life with no regrets. Savor each day I have given you. Love deeply. Forgive quickly, and keep your heart pure. Walk as one who carries truth, as one who bears life, as one marked by heaven itself. For you are my living letter to this world, and you will never be forgotten. I am with you in every heartbeat, in every whispered prayer, in every upward glance of your eyes. Never doubt that. When everything else changes, I remain unchanged. When others walk away, I stay. When you are weak, I will make you strong. And when you are confused, I will show you the way. Know this, I did not lead you down this path just so you could be healed, but so that you would become one who brings healing. Everything you have received, you will give away generously, humbly. Those sitting in darkness will need the light you carry. The wounded hearts will need your words like soothing oil. The weary souls will need to see hope reflected in your eyes. My child, your journey is not a secret to be hidden, but a banner to be raised high. Do not be ashamed of the scars. They are proof that I touched you, that death could not hold you, that despair had to make way for life. The very places where you once fell will become altars of glory to my name. I now call you into the role of a watchman, one who merely survived the fire, but one who rises with strength to guard the souls of others. The prayers you once whispered in lonely nights will now become spiritual swords to fight on behalf of those who have no strength left. Every tear that ever fell from your eyes has not vanished. It is watering seeds of hope for the generation to come. Do not fear the weight of the responsibility being entrusted to you. I never assign without empowering. I will give you wisdom that does not come from man, peace that is not shaped by circumstance, and insight that transcends experience. When you open your mouth, the words will not flow from intellect, but from the deep well within, where my spirit dwells. From this moment on, you enter a new season, a season of leadership, of building, and of releasing the healing power I have poured into you. Begin to write down what I speak. Begin to teach what you have learned. Begin to share what you have tasted. Someone is waiting on your testimony to break free from despair. A soul on the edge is watching for your light to know that life is still possible. My beloved, you do not need a pulpit to proclaim the truth. You only need to live truthfully each day. Love sincerely, forgive easily, and lift others without counting the cost. Your smallest actions, done from a healed heart, will become mighty in my hands. A smile, a hug, a look of compassion, all will become sacred instruments in my great work. And if one day the old winds return, if familiar fears knock at your door, again remember this: you are no longer where you once were. You have come out. You have grown. You have been established on the firm foundation of my word. Bring out the old declarations once more. Repeat the promises you once clung to. Remind your heart of all the times I pulled you from the depths. Because now, I give you one final gift for this part of your journey: steadfastness. Not fleeting emotion, not temporarizal, but a strength within you solid as rock, steady as the morning light, quiet yet sure as the beat of your heart. With this steadfastness, you will not be swept away. Though the world may shift, your heart will remain anchored. Though the seasons may change, your soul will stand firm. You are anointed to live as one who has been healed without retreat, without hiding, and without living as one who has been defeated. Walk as someone who belongs to me, gentle yet full of authority, humble yet unshaken, filled with love yet unafraid to say no to the darkness. For within you, I have planted a part of myself, and that part will rise, shine, and never be extinguished. My child, I have not only given you a miracle, I have given you a destiny. Walk in that destiny. And remember, every day of yours is recorded by me. Every breath you take is preserved by me. Every prayer you speak reaches its appointed place. And every path you walk, no matter how rough, is never without purpose. You are a story that has never stopped being written. And I, the author of life, will continue to write the next chapters with love, with glory, and with eternal meaning. Subscribe and turn on the notification bell to receive more words of life. Build unshakable faith and walk together in the boundless love of God.